Before we jump into key factors to success, I want to encourage you guys to do something, okay? I really want to encourage you to speak. I want to encourage you to participate. But I'm not just talking like, especially you don't want to participate in a subject you're not good at because you're like, I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to give an answer that's not correct. But there's a lot of ways to participate in this class. And usually what I found is that most of your questions, if you have a question and you're brave enough to ask it, at least 1/3 of the class is grateful you asked it because they had the exact same question. So I'm going to ask you a few questions right now. And I want you to be really candid. Why are you in this class?
Because it's a prereq.
It's a prereq? Okay. Yeah.
I want to be confident in math.
I want to be confident. Okay. Yeah.
I was on mission, and the only other one that was available was calculus, and I did not feel comfortable with that one. So
There you go.
my mama put me in this one.
My mama. I love mama, man. There's a lot of moms that have signed up a lot of return missionaries for their classes. And I like that. Any other thoughts? Why are you in this class? Yeah.
I got bad grades in algebra in high school.
Cool. Thank you for sharing those. Okay. Great reasons to be in this class. And one of the things that is really powerful is this concept of if you take something you're weak at and you become strong at it, you do a lot more than just become strong in that subject. You develop a lot of self-confidence and even the belief in yourself that other things are possibilities. We're going to try to teach you a lot more than math this semester. Over the years, I have been super honored a few times, and maybe more than once, for students to come to me and say, that was the best class I ever had in college. It's powerful. You get on Rate My Professor and you see a lot of students that pipe up and say, hey, that was a great class, he's a great teacher. That's a big compliment. I appreciate that. That's great. But I'm not here to win your compliments. I'm not here to win your praise. I am here to completely serve you. If you have goals and things you want to accomplish in your lives, and math is the barrier, or your confidence is a barrier, I want to help you develop that confidence. I want to help you overcome that barrier. So today as we talk, there are a few things that I want you to understand. You can pause for a second. Something interesting this semester is that I am not just a teacher, and I hate to say it that way because it makes it sound like if my only profession was to be a teacher here, I would be something less, and that is not true at all. But I guess maybe a better way to put it is I'm not only a teacher, and I love to teach, and I've had great success in teaching that has brought me tremendous joy, but I also am an entrepreneur, a business owner. I've owned and created and sold businesses. I own a big business right now, and I'm involved in a lot of things in life that are part of your dreams and goals and aspirations. And we're going to integrate those into how we teach this semester. And I teach a lot of things about business and life and integrate it into the math. And so sometimes you'll be going along in the workbook. We got all these pages where we're doing math. But it's nice to have, there's a couple pages in the beginning here where you can just throw down a few of our life lessons and things. And those pages are reserved for that. One of the things I find awkward is, and I've really debated changing this assignment. This is one of your first assignments in here. It's due on Friday by midnight. That's listed in Canvas, It's called the devotional assignment. And I'm going to have you can scan this QR code or go to the URL, or you can Google Rich Llewellyn devotional. When I was asked to speak in devotional a few years ago, and I spent 300 hours preparing that 29-minute talk. 300 hours, no lie. I had months to prepare it. Tremendous honor to be asked to speak at devotional. You pause and you reflect on how many people have spoken from that pulpit and who some of them were. I've seen prophets and apostles and great leaders speak from that pulpit, so I wanted to make sure I did it right. I don't like the fact that it's me that you're looking at and listening to. I wish it was somebody else, but this message is really applicable to you. I spent a lot of time preparing it under the kind of guidance of what would benefit our students the most. especially at your level of entering college. So there's a few questions there. You can answer those, take a picture of them, and file upload it in Canvas. Please don't do this times table quiz if you have already been farting around and you're like, hey, this looks fun. It's like a puzzle. I want to do it. And you did it. It's like going to chastise you, but please don't do that until later. We're going to do it this week. And then we're going to jump into this. We're going to talk about this here for a little bit. So I need somebody to read this definition of math. Would somebody be willing to read that out loud? Yeah, what's your name? Josh, go for it, Josh.
Math is the manipulation of values to look different but remain the same.
Okay, so math is the manipulation of values to look different but remain the same. Come down here to 1/2. Everybody help me out here. You don't need to raise your hands, just shout it out. What is the decimal equivalent of 1/2?
0.5.
0.5, very good. Can we write 0.5 as 0.5? Yeah, either one. Is anybody bothered by why is the 0 there? Anybody want to know why the 0 is there? Good. Yeah, it holds the place. I like that. Okay. Seriously, sometimes you're doing something, you see 0.5 there, and depending on the font or the style of the paper, you could be like, is that a decimal? As soon as you put the 0 there, you know for sure it was a decimal. Okay. That's why it's put there sometimes. It's just for clarity's sake. Okay. What is the percent equivalent of 1/2?
50%.
That's right, 50%. And you should be and can be writing this down on your workbook as we go here. And what is another fraction that is equivalent to 1/2?
3/6.
All right, so I heard 3/6. What else?
2/4.
2/4. What's some others? 7/14, 50 over 100, and on and on and on. There's so many options, right? Every one of those looks different. They're all the same. Every one of these things is equal to 1/2. That's math. Math is our ability to manipulate things to look different but remain the same. If we say that 1/2 equals 1/3, we get the problem wrong. Okay? So when we manipulate things to look different and they become different, then we get the problem wrong. God is governed by these same laws. These are universal truths that govern math and science. Okay? Think about the scriptures for a minute. In the scriptures, does it say that God created the earth or organized the earth? Say it loud.
Created.
Hearing some created, hearing some organized. So which one is it? What? He is definitely referred to as the creator. Go and search the scriptures deeply. And in most instances, when it comes to the creation of a world or an earth, it says he organized it. Okay? He organized it like other worlds. He's been a creator of many worlds in the past, in the present, and will in the future. Okay? And he takes matter, right, that is unorganized, and he reorganizes it into a world. Okay? So, really interesting here. What is matter? Well, how about carbon and nitrogen and oxygen, okay, and the elements that exist? God does not create or destroy those. He uses them. He manipulates them into different forms. They're still the same elements, the same matter, but he creates it into different formations for use and for purpose. And so that is what math is. It's taking what already exists and manipulating it into different forms that still are the same. We neither destroy it or create it. Okay? God is governed by the same stuff. Really quick, what's 2x plus 3x? It's 5x's. I get students all the time, especially when they start getting into algebra, and we say the answer to that is 5x, and they say, but Brother Rich, what's x? And I say, well, we don't fetch and care. Because there's no equal sign in that problem. We're not trying to solve for x. That's called a simplified problem. We'll talk about that later. You don't need to write anything down that's not necessarily up there. So what I would say is, here, 2x plus 3x, right? 5x right there. That's all you got to write. We're going to learn about those kind of problems. They are called simplified problems, where we don't actually find out a solution or an answer. We don't find out what the variable equals. We just clean the problem up. It's like if you have a bunch of garbage on the floor and dirty clothes and books lying around, and you organize your room. You put the books on the bookshelf, dirty clothes in the dirty clothes basket, and the garbage in the waste bin. Okay, it's just a clean your room problem. That's what 2x plus 3x is. The next problem has an equal sign though. And we're saying that 23 equals 23. So we've got this on the board right here. 23 equals 23. If I take 23 and I subtract 2 from each side, I get 21 equals 21. Agreed? Now what if I didn't subtract 2 from that side? I would have 21 equals 23, right? Wouldn't be the same anymore. So this is a law in math that says what you do to one side, you have to do to the other, and it remains the same. Who's familiar with that law? Say woo. Woo. Yeah, that's a lot of woos. Okay? What if I divide this side by 7? What am I going to get? 3. Does 3 equal 21? No, but if I divide this side by 7, what do I get? 3. 3 equals 3. So here I have 23 equals 23. Here I have 21 equals 21. Here I have 3 equals 3. Different numbers, but still all equal to each other, still the same. Math is the manipulation of numbers to look different but remain the same. Okay, let's go to the next page. I mentioned already that God is governed by these same laws. What ability are we building in math? Ultimately, we're building the ability to manipulate things to look different but remain the same. I mean, it ties to the definition. So that ability, I would say, you ready for this? Is the ability to be flexible. It's the ability to give more than one answer to the same problem. Like we did over there. 1/2 equals 0.5 equals 50% equals 3/6 equals 50 over 100. You have to have that versatility. So math gives you flexibility in providing solutions. We're going to talk about mental squats line upon line another day. We'll come back to these notes at another time. I have some interesting things to tell you about those. Today, we're going to get you ready for your first math assignment. Okay, so what is a factor? Will somebody read what a factor is? Just go for it.
A number that goes into our number.
A number that goes into our number. It has the division sign underneath it. What does goes into mean? It means divided by. So what's our number? In this instance, we're going to take the number 24 right here. So I want you guys to help me out here. 24. Tell me some of the factors of 24. Just say 6, 4, 3, 8, 2, 12. Any others? 1. 24. And that's all the factors of 24. Really good. Sometimes people will shout these out in pairs to me, like 3 and 8, or 4 and 6, or 2 and 12, or 1 and 24, which is fine, but you don't have to communicate them as factors. Each individual number goes into 24, meaning 24 is divisible by 1. But why would they associate it with 24? Because 24 divided by 1 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2, right? Okay, so that's what a factor is. There's a reason we're teaching these 4 little principles here. A factor is something that goes into our number. It's associated with division. So what is a factor of 14? 7. 2, 1, 14. Beautiful. Okay? All right, multiple. So a multiple is the opposite of a factor. So instead of being this, and so if it's the opposite and factors deal with division, what do you think multiples deal with? Say it louder. Multiplication. Very good. Very smart. Okay? So if we take the number 3, which we have right here, 3, and I ask you to identify the multiples of 3. Well, I'm basically telling you to give me the times tables of 3. Okay? Because instead of a factor goes into our number, multiples come out of our number through multiplication. So what are the first 10 multiples of 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Okay, works for me. Okay, that's all you're gonna. So basically, you write this right here, and the 3s, you're right there. Okay. so you know the difference between a factor and a multiple. We're going to take just a mental break here for just a minute while you guys are taking notes. So, the beginning of this book, the first chapter is called the R chapter. R stands for review. And we're going to review arithmetic principles that are kind of the foundation of our success in algebra. So this chapter seems easy to you, that's great. If it's challenging, that's okay. We're going to teach it. But if you're like, I don't think this is the right class for me because this chapter is super easy, make sure to look at the other chapters ahead, okay? So we talked about, did I talk to you guys about getting unplugged and not taking notes? We talked way too many classes today. I didn't talk to you about this.
No.
Okay, so there are, I don't even call these rules. I mean, I think when you're in grade school, you have class rules. When you're an adult, you know, I can't tell you these are suggestions. That's a little too light. But these are the things that I want you to be invested in here. One is getting unplugged. How many of you have been on a social media fast or like got away from your phone for a period of time in the last 5 years where you just totally got rid of it for, you know, a fat minute? Raise your hand. Okay? Almost everybody in here. So what kind of feedback can you give me? Good, bad, stressful, liked it, loved it, hated it? What do you got? Refreshing. Wow, that's cool.
It was awakening.
Awakening.
Right.
It's great. Any negatives? What's that?
Boring.
Boring? Did you do it? And you were bored? Yeah, makes sense. Okay. It's really fascinating, but 5-7 years ago, I would ask this question, and students would get super upset about being away from their phone. It's interesting to see how the generations are beginning to sway and change a little bit. And I hear a lot of these, you know, reactions of refreshing and things like that. I think we're starving sometimes for just freedom from our devices and from our screen time. And, you know, I mentioned to you I like to have fun, and I broke my finger, you know, dirt biking and all that kind of stuff. And first thing I always ask my doctor every time I get an injury, I'm like, well, what can I do? You know, can I lift weights? You know, can I play basketball? Can I go jogging? You know, and every time, you know, what do you think they say to me? What do you think their anecdote for that is? Do you know?
No.
What's that?
Google.
Google it.
Just chill out.
Just chill out, let it heal. Okay, there's some of that there.
No.
No? Their number one response, because they know me, I'm not going to chill out, and I'm not going to accept no for an answer. So they always tell me, and I've heard them tell everybody this, listen to your body. If it hurts, don't. If it feels all right, it's okay, you know? And that's really good advice in anything in life. So it's interesting. Listen to your souls. Listen to your mind. Listen to your spirit. When you get unplugged, if it feels good, it's telling you something. You probably want to make more effort to get away from it on a regular basis. Listen, our phones in this day and age, they are woven into the fabric of every living you have to make. You cannot function without a cell phone in 90% of jobs that exist in the world. You have to have connections in social media and in the electronic world. So getting unplugged all the time is really not an option. But getting unplugged sometimes is a necessity for your health and your well-being. So one of the things I want you to do in this class is be unplugged. Yes, sure, it's respectful to me. I have a phone there. I have a business, as I told you. I have a lot of people that are trying to get a hold of me all the time. I'm never going to mess around with my phone during class time in here. I'm not going to get on social media. I'm not going to get screen time. I'm 100% invested in you. I ask you to do the same. Be 100% invested in this class. Sure, I said it's respectful to me, but I don't care about me. It's going to be the best optimal learning experience for you. And it's healthy. My suggestion while you're here, get unplugged every time you go to church and get unplugged every time you go to class. And invest in those moments. Invest in your class time. Invest in your sacraments at church and get unplugged. The other thing is this. It doesn't say not take notes ever, but sometimes I ask you in class to drop your pens and pencils and not take notes. Here's why. Okay? Here's an example, okay? After class today, I'm probably going to go on a 2-mile jog. Yeah, Brother Rich tries to stay in shape. I don't want to be too old. Okay, so I'm going to be jogging, and then what's going to be in my ears? Huh? Music, that's right. Yeah, I ain't into listening to books. Okay, I don't want to learn. I want to get entertained while I'm running, motivated, you know? Maybe Eminem, you know? I'm kind of into like hard things that, you know, swear a lot and make me run faster. Okay, and then I might pick my nose. Okay, so now that's called multitasking, right? I can run, listen to music, and pick my nose all at the same time. Okay, but what you can't do is you can't think about more than one thing at a time. That's a proven fact. You can change subjects, bump, 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 really fast in your brain, but you can't think about more than one thing at a time. So when you got your head down and you're trying to take notes, and I'm teaching you something important that you don't understand, you're not going to learn it. And then we're going to waste this whole semester. So I'm going to tell you at times to drop your pens and pencils and just focus on learning. And I have so many students tell me at the end of the semester that's the greatest thing that any teacher's ever done for them. Like, oh man, you know, we're going to learn in the classroom. Crazy. Novel idea, huh? Okay. Prime, composite. We're going to jump back to this. So what is a prime number? Well, a prime number, its factors are only and always one in itself. There are many prime numbers, but the example I have up there is 7. So underneath 7, all those lines, you're going to write the following. 7 divided by 1, write with me. 7 divided by 2, 7 divided by 3, 7 divided by 4, 7 divided by 5, 7 divided by 6, 7 divided by 7. Okay? Help me out real quick. What's 7 divided by 1? 7. What's 7 divided by 7? 1. Okay, all these other ones, I'm going to make these up. Some of them will be correct. Some of them will be close. Okay? Yeah, something like that. 1.6, 1.3. All right? I'm just guesstimating those, but they're all decimals. For something to be a factor, it's got to be a whole number. Okay? So, think about that. A factor has to be a whole number. 7's only divisible by 1 in itself. Then right next to it, this column I have 8. So write 8 divided by 1, 8 divided by 2, 8 divided by 3, 8 divided by 4, 8 divided by 5, 8 divided by 6, 8 divided by 7, and 8 divided by 8. Help me out. What's 8 divided by 1? What's 8 divided by 2?
4.
8 divided by 4?
2.
8 divided by 8?
1.
Okay. So 8 is divisible by 1 in itself, but it is composed of, that's why it's called a composite number, it's composed of other factors, 2 and 4. All these others, okay, 2.6 for number, yeah, 1.6, 8 by 2, 1.3, 1.12, okay? They're all decimals, okay? So these are your, these are your factors here. Okay? The difference between a prime and a composite number. Go to the next page. Ask you to list the first 10 prime numbers. Help me out. What's the first prime number?
2.
Who said that? Who said that? What's your name?
Melissa.
Melissa. Melissa's so smart. Where are you from, Melissa?
California.
Where?
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga. Been there, done that. That's cool. Grew up in San Diego. So Melissa, how come you didn't say 1? Isn't 1 a prime number? Or did you just get lucky? Or do you know? What's up? Maybe you know?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe you don't know?
I don't.
Okay, that's all right. Okay, so 1 is neither prime nor composite. It's in a league of its own. Definition of a prime number is that a prime number is divisible by 1 in itself. Well, 1 is itself. So 1 is the exception. So between 1 and infinity, that's the sign for infinity, all the whole numbers that exist between 1 and infinity, every number is either prime or composite. The first prime number is 2. What's the next one? Everybody.
3.
3. The next one?
5.
5. Are there any more even prime numbers? No, because they'll all be divisible by 2 as well as 1 in itself. What's the next one? 7. What about 9? No, because it's divisible by 3. Okay, what's the next one? 11. Next one? 13 and 17. Then what? 19. How about 21? Nah, 3 and 7. What's the next one? 23 and 29. And that's the first 10 prime numbers. You're asked to write that up there. What is 1? It says circle and answer. It's neither prime nor composite. So you're going to fill in the blank. It's neither. Just write neither. It's neither of them. Okay, last thing we're going to learn today. So I mentioned that your books are black and white, and it saves you money. You buy a book in color, it costs a lot more. But when we're in class, every time you see a red box like that, you're going to want to take your pen or your pencil and put a big star by that in your book, because that's something you got to memorize, right? We put those red boxes on to tell you got to memorize them. So we're going to take the number 40 right now, and we're going to prime factorize it. Tonight's homework is only 10 problems. And so here's your steps for prime factorizing. Somebody read the first step to me quickly.
Place an upside down V under our number.
Good job. Okay, so put an upside down V there. Then what? Read the next one.
Pick 2 numbers when multiplied equal our number.
Very good. So help me out, everybody. Pick 2 numbers when multiplied together make 40. What are 2 numbers when multiplied together make 40? 2 and 20. I like it. Now I'm going to write a dot because we're going to get into algebra, and the x, the times for an x is going to be kind of a conflict of interest. Okay? Is 2 prime?
Yes.
Circle it. That's what it says right there. It says circle the prime numbers, repeat the process for non-prime numbers, also known as composites, until all the stems end in circled answers. So this stem is not a prime number, so we're going to repeat the process. Put an upside down V under, pick 2 numbers and multiply together, make 20. Give me it.
2 and 10.
2 and 10, I like it. Is 2 prime? Circle it. Is 5? Is 10? No. Pick 2 numbers and multiply together, make 10. 5 and 2, 2 and 5. Is 2 prime? Circle it. Is 5 prime? Circle it. Now all my stems ended in circles. Then I'm going to write out all the circled answers in order. So 2's come before 5's, and I write it all out. Help me real quick. What's 2 times 2? 4 times 2. And 8 times 5. Whoa, 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 it's magic. Well, look at that. Math is the manipulation of numbers to look different but remain the same. Is that and that the same? We just multiplied it out, and it was, but they look different, right? This is called prime factorization. We're going to talk about something, this concept of when am I ever going to use this in the real world? That's the greatest question that math students always ask me. When am I ever going to use this in my life? We're going to talk about that this week, but not today. I want to show you something interesting. Pick 2 different numbers than 2 and 20. 4 and...
Oh, wait, no, sorry.
4 and 10.
4 and 10. I like it. Okay? 4 and 10. Is 4 prime? Is 10 prime?
No.
So we got to repeat this for both of these. Pick 2 numbers and multiply together, make 4.
2 and 2.
And that make 10. Look what we got here. Circle, 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 circle. 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. They're the same. And we started with a different pair. So people ask me, and this is why we did this. They say, can I do it a different way? It's like, we'll do it 2 different ways and show you. You're always going to get the same answer. This is why this is in a red box, because it always works. This is why we have to memorize it. Okay, that is all the notes for today. Let me just show you something really quick. Your homework tonight, at the end of this section, we have what's called R1 exercises. You have numbers 1 through 10. And then you have 5 extra credit problems. Extra credit is just what it says. It's extra. You never have to do it. But if you do it, you get extra points. 10 problems is not a lot. We do all of our classwork, note-taking, in our workbook, but our homework, we don't do in here. Okay? We do it on a separate sheet of paper. If you accidentally did it on here during class today or something, just take a picture and file upload it, and we'll accept it this time. But the graders will dock you if you don't do it on a separate sheet of paper. There's going to come a point in time very soon where there's not enough room in the workbook to do homework accurately and effectively, and we want you to use separate sheets of paper. How do you Sorry. Trying. Maybe not. How do you file upload something, right? Well, you go into Canvas and you click on today's assignment, and it'll ask you to upload a file into it. You can take a picture with your phone and email it to your computer, and then file upload it. I mean, you guys are a smart generation, as you said. You could Google it, but it's pretty easy to file upload. If you're having any trouble with it, ask a friend. People do this stuff all the time on campus. Ask a roommate, things like that. All right, that is it for today. I'll see you on Wednesday, and we're going to have a couple of assignments that are due at the end of the week, but this is the only assignment due before class. Every homework assignment is due by 2 p.m. of the next class period, other than unique ones like the devotional assignment or stuff like that. But your math homework, it's always due the next class period by the beginning of class, okay? You guys have a good one. If you have any questions, want to talk about what math class to take other than this, I've got time.